I'm sitting here with Tom the Canine Green, 12-3, hasn't fought for just over a year now, nearly over a year now, isn't it, Tom? So we're back. You're fighting back at Fusion next in June. How are you feeling coming back after a year, Tom?
I'm feeling great. I really am. I mean, like, I've just been enjoying my training, learning new things, improving. I say this in all of my interviews. I am a martial artist. I do not stop training. I'm always improving, because that's what makes you a martial artist, improving. Yeah, just constant learning. Again, just picking up new skills. My Jiu Jitsu, in my eyes, is better than it has ever been. I'm just enjoying training at the minute. I really am.
So is there any, if you don't mind saying, any particular reason why we haven't seen you fight in the cage for nearly over a year now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think after my last fight, I think there's a few changes that I need to make to my camp, to my training regime. I think how I was training, I sort of flatlined myself a little bit. I wasn't enjoying it as much as I had done in the past. It become a little bit dead, so I'm still in the process of changing things up a little bit. This is almost a fight to sort of see how that's going a little bit, and then I'm looking at the end of the year, maybe getting back on Bellator again, and by that time, hopefully everything's in place, and I can get a good shot in Bellator. And I'm hoping the year after that, that'll be the year when you will really see me at my peak.
Well, that's the question I wanted to ask you. Obviously, we were waiting to hear for a Bellator announcement for you coming up soon. No disrespect to Fusion Fighting, great fighters there, great up and coming. Like, I've watched a few Bellator fighters and myself, and I believe a lot of these Fusion guys are good enough to compete in there as well. So what brought you back to Fusion then? So why have you come back to Fusion instead of Bellator, if you don't mind going into it?
So Bellator, I had a few matches offered to me. People pulling out, things changing, offered things at different weights. It just didn't work out. It wasn't really what I was looking for at the time. And I think they've got a pretty stacked card as it is anyway. So I spoke to Jude and he said I can jump on something else end of the year, or another card. They've got loads on in Europe at the minute anyway, so I'm looking to jump on somewhere else. I've come back to Fusion Fighting. It's local. I always get a lot of support there. It's basically what I've grown from. So I just feel comfortable. It's home, basically. It's a good place to get that fighting, to build myself, to see how this new sort of training regime's going. Yeah, I mean, like, it just seems to be the place to start again from,
Can you give us any insight without giving too much away? Like, what's your new training regime? What are you implementing new? What are you improving on? What is your main focus at the moment without giving too much away?
Well, I've mentioned this in a podcast with you. You should definitely listen to it if you get a chance, about... I wouldn't call it mental health because I don't like to label it as that, but I almost get like a bit of a mind block. I started feeling different to how I did before in old fights. I wasn't feeling the same. I was getting this kind of mental block, and I was fighting not skillfully. I was fighting more instinctively, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was just purely swinging, and there's no fault to my game, and that is completely not me. If you talk to anyone I spar with, anyone that knows me, they're just like, I lay traps, I hit angles all the time, and it's a strange process to go through. I've got people in there now who are helping me with that, and it's incredible. It really is. The human mind, it's another thing. Definitely worth talking to someone about. Also, I've got a new PT in, doing my strength and endurance. Ollie Shaw, Surefire Fitness, another one you've got to check out, guys. Yeah, just a few different things. I'm going to start boxing amateur at Three Bridges Boxing Club again. That's what
I've heard Jimmy pops down there as well sometimes.
Yeah, Jimmy Slice down there. Yeah, he's the one that's kind of like, you've got to get down there because they've got amateurs, they've got pros down there. And that's where I started back in the day. I'm taking it back to basics. Like, I used to love going around all the different clubs, sparring back in the day.
But just to add though, you're never one of the, I know so people don't get the wrong end of the stick, you don't go around thinking I'm going to beat this guy. You don't go there to be the big man, you go there for a challenge.
Yeah, I'm completely not that person. I literally just go there just to, it's interesting to see how everyone boxes and how everyone moves differently. It's always good to sample different things. I've got no ego. You go there, get done a little bit, it doesn't matter, but the thing is like I'm saying, I'm always looking to improve, and looking at other people's way they move is a good way. I always pick up something, does something different down this gym, And it happens a lot. We've got good guys down there. There's a little Irish fella called Lewis McGill who comes down there. Always got something different all the time. And I sit back and look at it, I think, man, you must watch a lot of YouTube, or you're mental, you're just making things up. But I just like learning.
That's it, and it's good that you're in the gym with a lot of these new up-and-coming fighters, so you're seeing the new breed coming through, the new thing they're training, so it keeps you out your comfort zone a little bit. So some of these young kids giving you a run for your money here at the moment, Tom.
Yeah, well, what it is, I've always been into my fitness as well, so these youngsters, they come through with a lot of energy, and it's good to sort of see where your levels are at. I remember when I was their age and how much energy I used to have as well. I'm sure you know. So it's good, yeah. We've talked about this again on your podcast. Yeah, the new era of people coming through, these kids are learning it so young nowadays that it's scary what they're capable of. I mean, I didn't start this until I think I was maybe 23. So
is that MMA?
MMA, yeah.
Because I know obviously I've known you for a while. I remember when you started doing your Queensbury boxing, undefeated in the boxing ring. Was that correct? Undefeated. Yeah. So your bread and butter is your stand-up. So have you come across? Obviously, your jiu-jitsu is next to none. You never think you weren't doing jiu-jitsu as well. So how's your jiu-jitsu come along since leaving like your boxing career?
Well, when I started boxing, I was also learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu at exactly the same time. But I was literally doing that for fun. I just thought, oh, this is new. I'll give it a go. I could see mixed martial artists were using it quite a bit, and I just thought I'd keep it on the back burner. I just keep it separate from the boxing. I didn't even consider it anything to do with my fighting. And I started boxing, and then that sort of took over at that time. But that's why and how I got into mixed martial arts. Someone just said to me, you know, you've had a fair few boxing fights. Why do you not try doing a mixed martial artist fight? You know, do an MMA fight. And I thought, well, I've got my ground game. I've just got to add the kicks, learn the wrestling. And I thought, yeah, why not? I've always been into pushing yourself. And I found mixed martial arts training compared to boxing is something completely different. It's like the next level. Like I used to do athletics when I was younger. I was in football academies up to the age of 16. I've always tried to compete at the highest level. No matter what sport I've done, I've always done it at high levels. So when I was boxing, I was kind of a bit like, right, it's repetition. And suddenly there's this new sort of way mixed martial arts are coming through, and I thought, man, this has got so much more to it. And you realise that you can be good at one thing, and then another thing you're nothing at. So you've got to constantly build things. It's like just constantly, you know, progressing and everything.
So what would be your advice? Like I spoke to Callum Shooting earlier. He's a K1 fighter at KFA. He's looking potentially move to MMA soon enough. So all those boxers out there who are looking at MMA thinking, I want to make that transition, what sort of best advice you can give to those people from your experiences?
I will tell you now, you need to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, guys. Okay? If you ever watch an MMA fight, most fights end up on the floor. If you don't know anything, you're getting tapped out. You're getting put to sleep. Okay, you just start doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For God's sake. I mean, like, if you're over in America, all my American guys, all my mates, they'll be going, learn wrestling. Yeah, you can learn wrestling as well, but I'm telling you now, them wrestlers do get tapped out. Okay, so learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's good for you.
And yeah, exactly. Words of wisdom there. Okay. Talking about your training partners, I know you've trained at KFA. All your MMA career has been predominantly at KFA.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you ventured out into the States and done some training out there as well. Can you give us a bit of background on some of the guys you trained with there and the experience you had and differences going over there compared to the UK?
So I got sent out to Blackouts. I'm signed to an agency called Epoch. I got sent to LA to train at the Blackouts gym. Kenny Bolt Wrestling, all the guys out there. Kenny's, you know, he's trained for the Olympics. Yeah, his wrestling is like next to no. He's the top guy, basically. He knows his stuff, and he's a great character as well. Fantastic guy. It's quite nerve-wracking when you go somewhere else, but if you've ever met Kenny, you'll realise straight away that he is just one of the most entertaining and funny guys to be around. It just made me feel so comfortable out there. And yeah, so I went out there, and the things that first crossed my mind were, man, these guys are going to be on a different level. I'm going to get my ass handed to me. And I went out there, and the first day I went out there was sparring. And I was like, oh, Jesus, man, this is not going to be fun on my first day. And I remember I went in there, they do a couple of 5-minute warm-up rounds. First thing I realised, every single person in there wants to make it. Every single person in there, they've got this desire to want to succeed. That's the main difference, I think. They're not just training for fun, they're training because they want to change something in their lives, most of them. Now, I remember the first couple of rounds, 5-minute rounds out there. I went with these guys and I picked this first fella and I had my round with him and I definitely bettered him. And I was thinking, oh man, I think I got quite lucky there. Perhaps he was one of the guys who was not as good as the rest. I went with someone else and definitely bettered that person as well. And then I got put in the cage against Alan Joban, who's and I don't know. He's one of their main fighters out in Blackouts. Lovely guy again.
Doesn't Ortega fight out there?
Yeah, Brian Ortega's out there as well. They've got Tony Ferguson out there. They've got Anderson Silva, Nogueira brothers are out there. They've got everyone basically. It's a great gym. But I went against Joe Ban and like he'll tell you, he was like, oh man, you're a really good boxer. And then he started questioning my jiu-jitsu, going, oh, where do you train jiu-jitsu and stuff? And I done went against him. And that's what I mean. The guys, it suddenly made me realise that you get this persona that they're like a different level. But then I realised that, no, actually, I can do it right out here. The only thing I say what was massively different is their wrestling.
Because a lot of people say a lot of them, it's a very debatable subject, but a lot of people say the UK is where boxing is the best, they say. And over there, they all do their wrestling and things like that. Would you agree with that?
Maybe not the boxing, to be honest. The UK got stuck, in my opinion, in boxing in a certain style for quite a while the US was progressing. Like all them American fighters out there, like you look at the likes of Mayweather, everyone's always going to pluck his name out. But the way how he was boxing was on a different level to everything over here. Like it's a style of the UK. It's be all tight, moving around. They just used to move so slick out there. And I believe they were hungrier than UK fighters. I mean, like, it's changing now because we've had to change.
MMA's like the fastest growing sport in the UK at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do believe the striking, in my opinion, over here is better for mixed martial arts. But the wrestling out there is just on another level. There's a guy called Bubba Jenkins.
Yep, I know
he the first time I went with him, I was peppering up with our hands, and he's a funny guy. And suddenly he just shot under, and he's a small guy, and he had me above his head and dumped me upside down on my head. And his first words to me were, "Welcome to the USA." That was
welcome, yeah.
From Bubba, yeah. Like I said, Bubba's a great guy, funny man, and once again, he's just very talented, very talented.
He had a stint in the UFC for a while, didn't he, as well? So you got some good options around you as well. How often did you go out to Blackouts? Was this like a one-off sort of invitation you did?
Yeah, it's a one-off, but once again, I was out there for a while, made good friends out there. I will be going out there again. I think maybe if I get another Bellator fight, I will definitely do my camp out there, just because over here it's like you want to train in the day, it's hard to get people. People are working all the time. Out there, like I said, everyone is doing that because it's like their dream. They want to succeed. So.
Living out their cars, sort of thing, just to do what they want to do.
Exactly, and they're just hungry.
Different kind of passion.
Yeah, it's just you can train more. You know, like over here, it's kind of like I went for sort of pro for a year where I thought, right, I'm going for it. I'm gonna just purely do this. And I found myself in a day kind of not training because there's no one around, and I'm sitting there not working at the time. I was getting money from doing privates down here, teaching classes, and then I just realised that, mate, I might as well be working because the classes are on in the afternoon. That's when everyone's down here. So that's the problem. I think when you're in LA, you wake up in the morning, first class is at 10 for 2.5 hours, and that'll be striking, which is just so intense. Go home, everyone rests, has a bit of food, and then you're training again about 4. So it just works nice. You don't have to worry about anything back here. It's just like, there's my focus. That's purely what it is.
And do you have all like your nutritionists out there with you as well? Does that come as part of the package?
Yeah, I was.
Because between people who don't know you, you're quite tall, like the same height as me. You know, I'm 14 odd stone. You cut down. I've seen you cut as low as featherweight before, which I don't know you'll be doing again. I don't think. No,
I think it's probably maybe a little bit too hard. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's just it's quite a strain to do it, and. Yeah, I just find it saps me a lot. Like even sometimes when I cut to 70, I find it quite hard. It just depends. It's something that I haven't got right in my past couple of fights as well. And I found everyone who knows me knows that my stamina is one of my main games. It's just.
Well, I can tell by your running apps. You know, you always post, I run 40 kilometres a day or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I've done marathons in sub 3 hours. Used to run for regional south of England 800 metres, sponsored back in the day for athletics. It's just always been my thing. But yeah, I just find sometimes when I get that weight cut and I don't get it right, I just go to shit basically. It's not great. It's not great, but it's something that I'm working on, and I've got people in place that can now help me with that. So it's just probably something I should have done a long time ago, to be honest.
Perfect. So 1 year out, nearly 1 year out, you're back at Fusion again. We're really looking forward to seeing you back in the cage. Do you know much about your opponent they've selected for you for this matchup? And what weight class you're fighting at as well?
I actually don't know yet. I really don't. I can't give too much away. They're in talks with a couple of people. I'll just take what comes my way, to be honest.
This is Fusion, I mean.
Yeah, Fusion. Yeah, I just take whatever comes my way. Just good to be active again, really. Just compete. Like I said, I'm gonna compete Jiu Jitsu a lot more. I think. Like I said, I'm really enjoying Jiu Jitsu at the minute. Really am. So it'd be good to get in there, compete in a few tournaments, and see where I can go with that. Because I've always said once I stop doing mixed martial arts, I'll probably take up marathons or triathlons and Jiu Jitsu tournaments. So.
Well, you're doing a good job here, especially with maybe something good for you going forward is your coaching. A lot of these guys I speak to in your gym, they all revert back to you and Mark Hobbs. You know, you two are the go-to people. They're calling you veterans in here now, like they're calling Tom's a veteran, you know, with all this sort of stuff. So that must be nice to hear as well. So you've definitely got a good family around you. So what I want to talk about is going into Fusion. You've been out for a while. I know you don't know who you're fighting, but what's your game plan? Get in there and get it done quick and then, you know, make a bit of a statement? Or do you want to have a bit of a feel-out process, see how you're feeling in there now you've been out for so long?
No, I honestly think that past some days of rushing out like a bull just trying to decapitate someone, I just love technical stuff. So I will go out. I'm not saying that I'm going to take it lightly, but I will play around. I will use my skills and I'll try and be precise. I think the word I'm looking for is preciseness, being precise with everything I do, you know?
Yeah, because as you mentioned with your last fight in Bellator, you didn't feel yourself in that fight. Like I've seen you fight loads of times, and that was a different person to me. No disrespect to you at all. Yeah. Different person in the cage. I've seen you fight so much better than that before. You just didn't, as you said, you're seeing sports psychologist sort of thing now, and there's many other athletes who are doing the similar things. It's great. Like, isn't there someone else doing this currently? Was it Nadal? Was it something like that?
Yeah, well, Andy Murray. Yeah, he claims it completely changed his life.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, absolutely. He was saying he wasn't winning things, and he purely puts it down to the mental side of the game. And as soon as he took on his sort of coaching, he said it completely changed his life to the point where he started winning from that point on. And he's wrote in his book, you read his autobiography, everything. They all say the same thing. It's the same. You read football players; a lot of them get it as well. You know, it's just it's such a massive part of the game that people overlook, and it's something that I definitely overlooked. If you said to me you were one of them guys who got maybe a bit of anxiety before a fight, if you said that to me 2 years ago, I'd have laughed at you. I was that guy who was a prick who would have been like, yeah? Nah, it hits you suddenly. It's strange. It's such a strange thing, but once again, being a martial artist, you deal with it, you learn.
What was it like then, walking down that, obviously a big step up in competition, walking down that Bellator ramp, you know, with all the smoke everywhere, it's like being a WE, was like all your music playing behind you. How did you feel making that walk? Sorry to go back in time there.
No, cool, it's awesome. The thing for me, I've grown up around Wembley, I've been to music, concerts there, loads of things there. Great venue. It was awesome to be coming from the other side of the curtain, because I think the last time I was there, I watched Jay-Z. And I just remember thinking, man, Jay-Z's been standing in this position before. I thought, that's fucking cool. Other
people are usually thinking someone else before they go and have a fight. You're thinking, this is me chilled. Jay-Z was here, quality.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking as I was walking out, which is quite embarrassing, but yeah.
Was Jay-Z your walkout tune at all?
No, I've got the Arctic Monkeys, like to keep it a bit British, to be honest. A lot of guys come out of all this kind of rap or change it up every time. I'm about representing my country, representing Great Britain, so...
Perfect, mate. And here's a quick question for you. I've asked everyone this already. Nicknames, K9. We know what a K9 is, but where did it come from? Who gave you that nickname?
Oh, I get asked this so often, man. So there used to be a program back in the day called The Contender, hosted by Sugar Ray Leonard. Yep. Used to get a selection of boxers, almost like Big Brother. They used to put them in a reality TV house, and they used to have to...
Wasn't that Stallone's thing as well?
I think it changed to him maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was. Yeah, true. And there used to be a guy on it back in the day called Cornelius K9 Bundridge, and he still boxes now. And at the time, I was probably about 15, and me and my mates were boxing up the gym. We didn't know how to box. We just putting on gloves as a laugh, and I was just almost replicating how he walked forwards and throw these massive left hooks. And my mates were like, "Whoa, you think you're the K9?" So it just sort of stuck. And then the first fight I ever had, everyone remembered that, and they were like, "Oh, look, it's the K9." And I remember it was hilarious because I was sort of boxing. I didn't even think about the name K9. I could hear them all from across the room going, oh, K9, K9. And it actually made me laugh in the middle of my first ever boxing fight, which only lasted 45 seconds. But yeah.
Obviously a win, let's just put that out there. It's a win, by the way.
Yeah. So that's where that name come from, Cornelius K9 Bundridge. Messaged him on Twitter a while back, and he thought it was quite cool. So yeah, it's good.
It's not one you hear a lot. It's not like a pit bull or something like that, which you hear a lot of that. It's a different one, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Well, that's literally where it come from. Purely just from watching the Contender back in the day. So.
Absolutely quality. So obviously next fighting June, Fusion 30. Going to be a great fight. It's going to be great to see you back in the cage. And obviously at Fusion, you're a bit of a celebrity as well. You're their former. Are you still their current champion? What happened with that title you hold?
Featherweight. No one stepped up. No one stepped up for the featherweight title.
Well, you're here, featherweight title shot. Tom's available for it. I'm sure he doesn't want to cut down a featherweight, but if you're up for it, I'm sure he'll cut down a bit, cut through on the drive-throughs in the morning. You know what I mean, sort of thing. So, just want to ask a couple more things. So let's say when you win this fight and go through your opponent, is it anyone? Let's say Bellator might give you the call. Is there anyone in particular? I know you've had this conversation before, but is there anyone in particular you really like to be faced upon in Bellator?
Where's this going? Where's this going exactly? Is this going to go on Twitter?
You can go anywhere you want to.
Dani Danis, you little bitch. Yeah? Stop pretending you're something that you're not. Yeah? You're stale jiu-jitsu. You're dead, mate. Yeah? Come and fight someone who's got a bit about them. All right? I've got a loss on my Bellator record. What have you got to lose with that? Okay? I'll be the underdog. You can be top dog, mate. Yeah? Okay? We'll see what you've really got. I reckon I've got the ability to tap him out, yeah, and we're not even going to talk about the stand-up. He comes out thinking he's McGregor. Someone needs to take him back to basics and just put him in a boxing gym and just get him working his feet. It was embarrassing watching him last time. That's what I want, okay?
So there you are, Dani Danis, if you're listening. Tom's sitting here, be a great fight for you, 12-3, you know, on his record, 12 pro fight wins. I said he's sitting on about 4 himself, isn't he, at the moment? So I personally think that'd be a great matchup to see. And it's actually a great matchup for him, to be honest with you, Tom.
Absolutely, and another thing that annoys me about him, how come you get all this free Supreme stuff? It annoys me. Supreme, okay, you can be tagged in this as well. Stop giving him stuff. Stop giving him his free shit. I'll go on your website all the time, got the bots. Stop giving him free shit. Yeah, take that shit off of him, yeah? Idiot.
So no love lost there then. Have you two ever crossed paths before, or is it just all social networking?
No, just social networking. I only really started winding him up, to be honest. I know I could get the fight if I wanted to just by hitting up social media. But like I said, I'm the perfect opponent for him. He's a higher weight class than me as well. Why would you not take that fight?
There you have it, straight from Tom's mouth. You have it here. So Tom, finally, what I want you to do is, because I know last time we had a shout out for sponsors, and I think you might have missed one. So let's have a full shout out to the sponsors now. Let's start with the sponsors. Shout out to any of your sponsors, Tom.
Alex Whitman. Just want to say he got cut last time. Look, listen, man. He does all my physio work. Guys around, he scrints it around the south of England. You have to go to this guy, okay? From a professional's perspective, yeah? Okay, elite physical rehab. Check him out. Okay, he's the top guy. But I get people all the time, I see it on Facebook, recommend a physio. And then they go to some person who just sits there, plays around with them a bit, learn out a textbook. This guy's next level, please check him out. Secondly, Seven Sins Tattoo Hawley, Chick Child, the most loyal guy for me in sponsorship ever. I can't thank him enough. And when it comes to tattooists, people are too happy nowadays just to get a tattoo from anyone. You want a proper one? Yeah, get it done properly. Go to Seven Sins. One more, Blitz Sport. Thank you very much for everything you've done in the past. You've been great for me. You helped me out so much. And I'd just like to say thank you to Fight Lab for the shorts for the last fight. It'd be good to hook up with you guys again, and Yokao as well. The same with the gloves. Just appreciate it. I really do.
No, perfect. And also one more thing, anyone in the gym you want to shout out to that's helped you get to where you are today, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone. I mean, obviously Mark Hobbs, wouldn't be anything with this without him. I just want to thank Lewis McGill for the time he takes before fights to help me as well. He does it off his own back quite a lot. Sarah Abbey as well, sort of my jiu-jitsu girlfriend. Got together with her couple of months ago, and it's just it's just great. It's good to have her around. She does a lot for me, helps me out. It's good to have her down here to train with her as well. It's quite entertaining to be going out with someone that you
going out with
get to choke out,
or the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Just thank you to everyone who spars with me, because sometimes I feel bad because we spar and I hurt people, and then you look at them and these guys are just like they are there to help you succeed. And it's just kind of like, I just appreciate it. I really do, guys. Thank you very much.
No, I said, Tom, I really appreciate you coming and having a chat with us today, and really look forward to seeing you at Fusion 30 and watching your career carry on. So we've gone all the way from building brick walls together to this moment now, Tom.
It's been amazing. It really has.
It's been a journey, man. Thanks very much.
Nice one, man. I appreciate it.